flipping thing's not been recorded.
I'm bloody glad.
Are you? Why?
No, my heck, no. No, it's not.
No. Sorry.
It's Lynn, don't worry. I'm retired, I've got all the time in the world.
Me too.
Don't know about you.
Oh, but I wanted all that you've just said.
Well, I can always say it again.
Yeah.
I'll start at the beginning.
Yeah, go on. What a nuisance.
What do we say first now?
I said, tell me about your mum and dad.
Right. Should I start telling you again?
Yeah.
My mum was the most wonderful person in the world who looked after us, cared for us, loved us, kept us clean, taught us all respect, and had a real love for her children. My father was no good.
Where was he from, Lynn?
He was from Nigeria, West Africa.
Yeah.
He came here. He was in the Merchant Navy. Came over here, and we met my mum in Plattfields. My mum lived on Hart Road.
You met her in the park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all the Africans used to go in Plattfields Park, and this is how she met him. So they started a relationship. And then when she worked at a place called Seymour Mead, and the boss used to see my dad go in there. So in those days, there was no telephones. So he wrote a letter to my granddad saying, "It is my duty to let you know that your Sheila," his words were, "is seeing a darkie." So my granddad got on his horse and cart.
What did he do? Why is he on a horse and cart?
Because that's what they had them days.
Oh.
That's how old, that's how far back I'm going.
Right.
Mum was born in 1928. The war was in the 40s.
Yeah.
So horses and carts were...
So where was he stabling his horse and cart if he lived on Hart Road?
I don't know. He might have borrowed it off somebody. He could have got it from where he worked.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm not
where
sure.
he worked.
He definitely, the only thing they had in that back garden was an air raid shelter.
We
from
all
the
had
war.
Him, yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So anyway, Grandad warned my dad to keep away from my mum, but she carried on with the relationship. She had, when she first started having her children, my granddad hadn't spoke to her. I think she'd had Tony, me, and then David, so he never ever bothered. He'd come to the house where my mum was. She lived in rooms in Moss Side. He'd stand outside, then when he was told the baby had been delivered, he'd go back to Hart Road. He never had any contact with my mum.
So that's like 3-4 years.
Well, I reckon Tony was about 5 or 6 when my mum took him to Hart Road.
Okay.
She used to give us all a turn each, I presume, to go out. So we only went when the granddad was at work. So she goes with Tony one day, and Grandad came home from work early, walked in, so my mum's there with Tony and my gran, so we just looked at them and walked off. Oh, sorry, before he walked off, Tony said, "Hello, are you my Grandad?"
Aww.
So he grumped and then walked away. So Tony said, where's my Grandad gone? So Mum said, "Oh, he's gone in the garden, but you mustn't go." He said, "I'm going to say hello." So he goes down the garden path, gets to the shed. Grandad's there mooching about. And he goes, "Grandad, is that this your shed?" And he went, He said, "What's in that box? Your tools?" So he sort of nodded. Tony looked in the box and he went, "Grandad, you shouldn't put your nails with the screws. They should be separate." So we got hold of Tony, hugged him, walked back in the house and said, "Sheila," it's my mum, "you just like you are very clever." I said, "And that broke the ice with my Grandad and us young ones." I said, "But I don't actually remember him. He passed away, but we always got on with my gran." Anyway, a few years later, it was still me, Tony and Dave. It was Tony's birthday, which was the 28th of February. My mum was living in rooms in Moss Side, and she said to him, "Tony, what would you like for your birthday?" And he said, "I'd like a house where nobody shares the toilet, but we've got a toilet just for us." She said, on the day of his birthday, a letter came from Manchester Town Hall you've been offered a house on Woodhouse Lane, Wythenshawe. So obviously, my mum goes down to see it. She probably took one of us, with her, I don't remember. We all moved in there, by horse and cart.
You went by horse?
No,
oh, you moved in there?
Yes, my dad took all the furniture on the horse and cart. We got the bus.
All the way from Moss Side?
All the way from Moss
to
Side
Wythenshawe.
to Wythenshawe. Now,
wow, man.
We lived there for 10 years, but my mum had a child each year, so she'd had a couple more kids after that. So obviously, she needed a bigger house. So she exchanged, still in Wythenshawe, to a 3-bedroom house. Was it 4? 4-bedroom house, sorry. Hatchet Road it was called. So when my mum was leaving the first house she was in, all the neighbours came out and they said, Sheila, we have to tell you something and we're so sorry.
What?
So my mum said, what is it? They said, when we found out colours were moving in, we all marched to the town hall with a petition.
Oh.
And the town hall said, no, they're up at that house and they're having it. But we said, we feel terrible because you were the best neighbour and you've got the best behaved children. They were really apologetic about it.
Wow,
so
that's unbelievable though, Linda.
That's what I mean. When I think back now,
Unbelievable.
No. The stories you told me are just absolutely... Anyway, back to my dad.
Yeah.
He was a swine, never went to work, never gave me mum anything.
He never went to work, Linda. He never went to work.
He was the only man who had about 20 jobs one year. He'd go to, I don't want to do it, I don't like it, or he'd complain about the boss or whatever. Now, one time he got this job. I can't remember the place. David would know because our Dave worked there. And Dave said to me years later, I think it was called Henry Walworth. Dave will correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, Dave's already there. My dad gets a job then. As he walks in, the next day one of our Dave's mates said, Dave, do you like the job here? And Dave said, oh yeah, it's great and everybody's great here. He said, yeah, but there's a lazy bugger, he said, works here. He's always skiving off him over there. And it was my dad. Dave said, that's my dad.
Oh,
Which
no.
was, because he didn't do anything for anybody. He used to go to Moss Side every day, leave my mum with no money, and he was always in the betting office. Sorry, those times there wasn't betting office, you'd have to go to the back of the shops. Sometimes he'd send me with a piece of paper with his bet written on, and his pen number was JD23, I'll never forget that, because we lived at 23 Woodhouse Lane, and the JD, I presume, would have been Jawando.
Oh, right.
So anyway, everybody went to school. Tony passed for grammar.
Yeah, all of you was clever.
No, I passed for technical and got terrible hiding because I wasn't clever enough, because I'd only gone to the middle. I went to an all-girls school in South Wythenshawe, which was very, very racist. There was only myself there, and I think a Chinese girl. 2 years I left. I made sure they threw me out there because it was so horrible. It was
like what?
Wasn't nice at all. Like they had. I was very clever at English, and it was called. We had a spelling bee. Now I was only 11, so we had this competition. So I got the most out of my class, so I was entered into it. So I had to have a competition with the second years who I beat in the spelling. I beat the third years. I beat the fourth years.
Wow.
So what they did, I'll never forget it, the word they asked me to spell was pneumatic. And I didn't know about the P in front of pneumatic. Yeah. And I started with N.
Yeah.
One of the other girls got it right and she won the big dictionary and I broke my arm.
Oh.
And my mum said to me, years later, they didn't want you, because obviously you were black.
Yeah.
To be what's it. Then another instant, I used to knock around with a girl. She was called Juliana Buckler. And she used to say to me, she was cleverer than me in her head. What's it wise? Because we were very well behaved. She said, let's do this and let's do that. She said, right, what we'll do, we'll go in for first sitting for the dinner. And then what we'll do, we'll come back in for third and have plenty to eat. So I got the strap and she just got told off. That was
In
another
school?
thing. Yes, yeah.
Wow.
Then another time I was sat on a chair and it was made of canvas with like the iron box. When I sat on it, it gave way and I fell through it. I cut my leg and one of the girls shouted, Miss, Linda Jawando's blood's the same colour as mine.
Wow.
So I obviously give her a mouthful and I got the strap for that, even though my leg was blind. Just a horrible. I won't call it snobby, but in them days I thought it was snobby, but they didn't like me. Nobody really spoke to me, and the teachers gave me a hard time. So they sent for my mum, and they said, oh, she's misbehaving and blah, blah, blah. Mum was quite upset, why are you misbehaving and all that. I said, I don't like it. She said, well, it's a good school, and I bought this, you paid for this, which she did.
Yeah.
So then I was transferred to a school called Mossnook, which was round the corner.
Yeah.
And that was great.
Oh.
That was fantastic, but there weren't many black kids there, but it was still, the teachers were nice and the kids were nice.
There wasn't many black kids in Wythenshawe, was there?
No.
Not even now, I wouldn't even say there's...
The only one to remember is us. Tony Attridge's family, a family called Erasmus, who were very, very poor, and two lots of Thomases. There was a Thomases whose son, Dougie James, he's called. His name was Dougie Thomas, he named himself Dougie James. He used to have the Soul Train years ago, don't know if you ever heard of him. Well, his two sons, one's on Emmerdale now, and one's on Coronation Street.
Wow.
Well, their father grew up with us. Then there's another family, they were called, what were they called? They were called Thomases as well. Their mother was a Scouser, which was a cracking woman. If any of the neighbours got a bit thick, she'd stick up for the kids. And
yeah.
my mum stuck up for us. Mum was very laid back, but this Liverpool woman used to, oh yeah. Yeah, she really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was what's it like. Oh, my mum had a very good doctor, he was called Dr. Benson. And he was really good to my mum, and he knew that my mum was having a hard time. He didn't really say a lot, but if you'd come to visit at the house, and my dad would be sat there, he'd say, hey, come on, because my dad was called Manson. Come on, Manson, about time you got a job. So my dad said, what do you mean? You got at the doctor, come on. But it was a really, really lovely doctor. Anyway, my mum moved. When she moved house, she'll have to go to the doctor and tell him that we've moved. So she said, Dr. Benson, I've come to see you because I'm moving. He said, are you, Sheila? Where are you going? He said, are you leaving the country? She said, no. He said, I'm going out of your area. It's up Woodhouse Park. And he said, Sheila, I don't care if you're in China.
Oh.
I'll always come and see your children. And he did.
Did he?
Oh, yeah. He was lovely. And another time my mum went in, she had a splitting headache. Because obviously all the mither and trying to get between him beating us and all that.
Yeah. Did he beat her, Linda?
Eh?
Did he beat her? If he was hitting you, did he hit your mum?
No, never touched my mum.
Wow.
But he'd nag and moan at her all night. I'm no good, David's no, because we stood up to me. That was all me and Dave were the first ones that stood up to him, you see. So we knew when it got to the stage where he couldn't beat us anymore, we'd tell him, give him a mouthful or tell him where to go. He'd give me mum all the headache then he started picking on the others.
Right.
Oh, we used to, Brother Paul, he'd twist his ears till they bled. You know, he'd twist them really bad. You know, when I look back now, it's just...
Wow.
Well, if it's... Put it like this, if I did it today, I think I'd be sitting in prison.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And more than likely you would be in care as well.
I know, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
but that's one thing about my mum, she won't let anybody take us away from her. My mum could have left us and gone back to her mother's, but she wouldn't do that.
Leave yous with him?
Yes, she wouldn't do that because she knew how cruel he was. You know?
What do you think she loved about him, Linda, though? She obviously must have
I got
loved
told, one of her sisters told me, when she used to see him in Platteville sometimes to come on his own, people would be calling him darky and this, that. They all used to go, man, that's not nice.
Right.
She tried to make him feel welcome, so obviously that's how they started this relationship. You know what I mean? Because he was based in Liverpool, came to Manchester, then he went back. So when he went back, she'd not had any children to him, but she'd seen him. He found her again in Plattfields.
Oh.
But if my mum didn't live in Plattfields, near there, she wouldn't have met him. and she wouldn't have had us, so...
You wouldn't have been born.
No.
Do you think he loved her?
No.
Why?
It's because his thinking women they have to be down, they're not, they were like his servants, because he didn't think he was better than us. You know, if you can sit in your house with your child, like me, because I was one of the first ones you picked on, because I'd argument, he never spoke to me for 3 years.
Why?
So I'd have to sit in the living room with my mum, and when he came in from wherever he was, I'd have to get out of the room. I couldn't be in the same room as him, so I used to go and sit in the cold kitchen. My mum used to get a knitting, and she'd come in and sit with me. I mean, to live in a house and not speak to your own is just...
How old were you?
Totally. I reckon it was about 12 or 13.
So what could you have possibly done for somebody not to talk to you for 2
I couldn't do
years?
anything. I just told all my friends what it was like, and they'd say, I'll come in ours and mum and dad will meet you. And they were great.
Yeah.
Come in, because they used to call me Joey. Come in, Joey, sit down. And it was like, I just can't believe how people could be so nice with it going home to him, so I just got more rebellious. When I went to work, he said, you can't go out. So my mum said, look, she's going to work, she's got a job. You've got to let her go out. So we used to go to a youth club that shut at 10:30. So mum said, she's going to the youth club, she's got to be in at 10. Well, you know and I know, 10 o'clock, everybody's dancing round.
No, definitely. You want to be like your friends, don't you?
I don't go home, Joe. I said, oh, all right, then 10:30 I'd go home. And he'd be waiting for me at the front door, and he'd just grab me by the head, then the stick would come out, or the strap. He'd belt me all over. I'd run into my room, lock my door. Sorry, not lock the door, shove something against the door so he couldn't get in. And then he'd say, you don't go out this weekend, but you stay in that room upstairs with nothing to eat from Friday to Sunday. That's how cruel he was.
And what did your mum used to sneak stuff to you?
She didn't do anything because she was frightened. Even though he never hit her, she was really frightened of him. She was really frightened of him. My mum taught me to cook from, say, 11. So when Dave got sent to bed, I could go into the pantry because we made the food and everything.
Yeah.
I could take Dave a meal upstairs and give it to him. But when I was in bed, because no one was allowed to go into the kitchen, Dave would bring me up something like a raw carrots or a bit of it. Tell you what, then, Brad, I was so sick laying that bed from Friday to Sunday, and I'm sorry, just made a mistake. I was going to school at the time, but I think I was going to school on the Monday morning. He'd call you down Sunday night, and my mum would give us a sandwich and apple pie and custard, something. So, honestly, I used to go to the toilet, and I was sick, so there was nothing left inside me. It was that bad. That sounds terrible.
With hunger?
Yeah. So in the end, what I did, I came to my side, and I met Lorraine's dad.
Yeah.
I got pregnant. I gave my friend the letter to give my mum, but I said, don't tell her where I live.
Yeah.
Because I thought my mum wouldn't be bothered anyway. Knock. And it's my mum.
Oh.
She went, I said, oh, Mum, she said, what are you going to do? So I said, well, I don't know what to do, Mum, but I'm not going back home. I said, no, I'm not going back home. Because to me, it was great. I was working in a cafe on Princess Road, which was next to the Reno. But
which cafe was that?
It was called the Long Bar Cafe.
Yeah.
That was where my first time to come into my side. So I worked in the Long Bar, and I met Lorraine's father there.
Who's Lorraine's dad, Linda?
It's called Ivor Ince. I don't know if you know the Inces.
No.
The John Ince, David Ince.
I'm rubbish with
7 of
names.
them.
I know people when I see them.
Yeah,
but
I don't know if you'd know them.
Go on anyway.
It was a big family. I had Lorraine to Ivor Ince, and then he got prison, so my mum said, oh, you'll have to come home. You know, for house burgling. Sorry to say, but...
Well, it's just like
so,
that.
yeah, my mum brought me home, but after a few weeks, I thought, I'm not staying here with him, because he tried the same. So I just said to him, look, I'm going, Mum. I had a friend called Kat. She lived in Wythenshawe. And she had a friend who had a car, and I said to him, can you do me a favour? Can you come into the house, but don't go up the path? Because my dad will go mad when I get my stuff out. I said, oh, no problem, because Lorraine was still in the carry-on and all that. And I'll never forget it. When I went out to take all my stuff out, he stood outside with his hands on his hips. So I got from the car, I said, bye, Mum. And went like that to him, can I swear?
Of course you can swear, love.
I said, fuck off, you horrible. I called him everything. And he went,
Did you?
yes, I did. Oh, yeah. He
Yeah.
stood there with his mouth open. So off I goes. I've got a room in Moss Side. A couple of months later, Dave comes.
Oh.
Dave stayed with me.
You and David are close.
Yeah. Then our Stan, he come down as well. In the end, everybody started, not the younger ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody started coming down. My sister Julie, she came down.
Yeah.
Because he was a horrible, cruel.
Which street in Moss Side was you in?
Eh?
Which street?
I lived on Fairlawn Street.
Did
I
you?
had rooms,
Everybody
Fairlawn
lived
Street.
up
And that's
there.
when I got to know everybody. I got to know Alma Williams.
Yeah.
Because Alma used to say to our Dave, because she thought my dad was wonderful. Because people always thought he was a gentleman and all this.
Charming.
They used to call him the captain because he used to be no bit for footballer and all.
Right, okay.
Yeah, she used to say to Dave, get home or I'll tell the captain you're out Moss Side. Get home, get back to it. Sure. But Dave loved we all love Moss Side.
No, because you're with your own, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, you with
Alan
your
was
own.
down. Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
And then years later, I had Paul and Leslie. They're not the same. They're not two ins.
Yeah.
I won't even mention his name, an horrible man.
Okay.
Jamaican though, but he's long
Right.
gone. But he was trying to be a bully, so I stuck that for a year. Got all the kids and I went to Newcastle with, I don't know if you know Pauline Pereira,
Yeah, cool.
right? So I went to Newcastle. Pauline Pereira was living up there at the time. I thought, I've got to get away from him because I knew, because he was another one beatings in a bad life, I thought.
Yeah.
So my kids were like, Lorraine was 3, Paul was 2, Leslie was 1. So my relationship was, say, for 3 years. I went to Newcastle. I lived there for about a year. Wasn't over keen on it, but I knew we were happy and all
Yeah.
that. And then Pauline Pereira came back. So when she was coming back, it was either John or Phil said, Linda, don't stay here on your own. I said, I'm scared of him in case they have any.
Yeah.
So what happened when they came back, they went and told Dave. So Dave come round, never mind him. You're staying here in Manchester, I'm not having any. You know what I mean? So anyway, what happened in the end, we went to attack me one night.
The Jamaican that we're not saying
Yeah.
who it is.
So what happened, we were going to a club in town, me and Dave. She said, I walk you down to the Reno, and as we got to Moss Lane East, because he was going to town, I said, Dave, I said, no, I'm all right. And as I walked past, I saw he was going in the now, there's an entry there.
Yeah, they're up there.
And their dad grabbed me. So I managed to get out of his grasp, run back through the entry, and the old Moss Side police station was across the road.
Yeah.
So I ran across, nearly got killed in the process. So they said, what's the matter? So I told them, so they said, listen, we're telling you now, if you want to press charges, you can. But if you change your mind, don't ever come to us again.
Right.
So I said no, because I thought, no, I've got to have a life, I said, no, I'm pressing charges.
Right.
Anyway, it went to court, he got fined £10 for assault on me, and total, and he never come near me then after that.
Brilliant.
But when I look back, when I looked at him one day, I thought, why was I petrified of you? Because he never let me go anywhere. I had to stay in the house. I couldn't see my family. I couldn't have visitors. It was really, because he was another one.
It's just you do what you used to.
Yeah. Oh,
Isn't
yeah.
it? You do what you've seen,
Yeah.
and that's normal.
Yeah, so after that, that's when I got my job in the Reno.
Go on then.
I used to go in the Reno for the night out.
Right.
10:30.
Yeah.
The place was full.
Yeah.
But all the outcasts, for some reason, used to stand on the right-hand side. Because they like to stand up as in there's tables on the left. A lot of people used to sit on the left. So one night when I went in, there was a thing, glass collector wanted, pot collector. I thought, I'll ask for that.
Yeah.
So I asked for it. He said, I'll give you a trial.
Right.
I'm thinking, trial, I've washed pots since then. So it gets behind there, so there's Phil. And there's a man called Quay. I think he was an African man, he was really nice.
Yeah.
And an old guy called Addy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he died, but he used to go around, and get the pots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Addy was great. He never said a word.
No, it was lovely.
As soon as the police walked in, he hated him. And I'll never forget, he had a round hat, and he said, take that. Please sit and please sign, really. Talking, not to them, but directly.
He was a bit mad, wasn't he?
So I thought, well, he's done that for a reason. He's
Yeah.
not done that for what's it. So after that, I started working, pulling the pants and all that, and
Yeah.
selling the what's it. But I worked with a Jamaican fella called Lloydie,
Yeah.
and he was a great bloke.
Yeah.
Now everybody in that Reno always thought I was one of Bill's kids, and I said, no, I'm not Bill's kids, I'm blah, blah, blah. So a couple of years later, I think I worked there from 1972. I was probably going down there before that. Phil's kids started working there, so it was Buddy first.
Yeah.
And the sister Yemi.
Yeah.
Yemi was a bit miserable at first, but I managed to sort it out. But Phil was great. I had and I met some wonderful people. Sheriff used to wash the pots.
Yeah.
Collect the pots. He was called Sheriff. Ganyu was the man in the gambling room, and he was always stood on the steps, Ganyu, seeing what was going on. Various people did the food, but to my knowledge, I can remember Babes, because going back a long time.
Yeah. Is it Beige?
Beige.
He's got, the youngest Brennans, the kind of half sisters. I think he's one of their dads. I know Carol and Dave very well, but the others I don't really know. I've seen them. Yeah, I think there's Anne, Carol and Dave. I think they're the same.
Right, they're the three I know.
Yeah.
Then there must be the younger ones.
And then there's Stephanie, and I think it's Teresa, but I don't think they're the same.
Right. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's where I got to know everybody, the Pereiras.
Yeah.
The Pereiras, oh God, the Thorns.
Yeah.
The Williamses.
Yeah.
Sheila Williams, Gloria and Simon Akaiku, Lottie Law, with just everybody. And
absolutely.
It was great. There was no, like today people say, you didn't go in there, did you? They used to rob the white people. And I said, no, it wasn't like that at all. Everybody got on. If there's anything like that, where you get everywhere, certain people would go and stop it. So to me, at the end of the day, it was a lovely club. And I've got some fantastic memories from that place.
But it's mad that's mad to say, because we're half white as well.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like everybody kind of don't believe that we're half. Like, they still seem to not be able to believe it. Do you know what I mean, Linda?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, it's very sick, because, there was a black girl who used to go in there called Rose.
Rose Henry.
She was one of the nicest people, because some full black people can be a bit prejudiced.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because my friend was Veronica Duffy. You know Veronica?
Veronica.
Right?
Who doesn't know Veronica?
I think Veronica was in the Reno before me, but I remember the girl said to me, she was a black girl, what are you doing going around with the white ones? So I said, how dare you?
Yeah.
I said, how dare you? I said, I would call you 3/4 caste, because your mother's half caste, your father's full black, but your grandmother would have been white, so you shouldn't. No, I don't like that. We weren't brought up like that, because there's good and bad in everybody.
Yeah.
Because remember, there were Jamaican Indians, Chinese Jamaicans, people like that, and to me, not the odd few might say the bit about the colour. Other than that, everybody was the same in that place.
No, they didn't really, did they? Nobody. What just struck me was the first night that I went down, I'd never seen that many half-caste all together.
No, I know.
Do you know what I mean? And I remember just looking out going,
I can just picture them now.
Yeah, no,
I
can't.
All there, because a lot of them in the daytime, they used to go to, where's it gone? On Market Street. What we call the Arndale, but it wasn't
the Market Centre.
Market Centre.
Yeah.
And there was a cafe where they always used to meet.
Yeah.
Our Dave used to go, and he always took one of my kids with him. It'd be Lorraine one week, Leslie the other, and they'd come back with money. Somebody'd give them 10 pence, which was a lot of money,
the kids.
Kind of
Yeah.
Yeah, but Cooley Persian, the greatest DJs I've ever come across. And when What's It made his record, Marcel King.
Oh yes,
every time he walked in, they put the record on because he was a lovely.
Yeah.
Just met some really lovely people. But I myself didn't know there's that many half-caste. Because my brothers used to go, I never went to a place called the Pop-In.
Oh yeah.
Well, I never went there. Yeah. So I believe that's where they first used to meet up. I believe all the Pereiras
Right.
And everybody else.
They're slightly older. I'm 57, so they're all older than me. You know when you...
Well, they must be in between, because I'm older than them. I'm older than
so
them.
they must be in between. So when I'm like 12 or 13 and go to the popping, they're like 16 and they're too old for it. Yeah.
But having said that, Dave had lots of very good mates at Wythenshawe. Why not? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That thinking to today, families that we grew up with, and they're still pals of it to today, so that's a nice, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely.
You know, nice, what's it like? Genuine.
Are both your mum and dad dead now, Linda?
Yeah, my mum died 3 years ago, and my dad, it must have been about 18, 19 years ago, but as I told you, he was older than my mum.
Of course he was. Yeah.
He was 34, she was 17. He altered his passport when they went to get married and put his age as 24, but they were getting married, you know, in the register office. This is what Mum told me anyway, years later. But when we went to the register office, he said there's a discrepancy, because he looked at the passport that had been altered. Come back and see me next week. So when they went back the week after, that man had gone on holiday, so whoever married them anyway. But my mum said, if it had been that same man, he'd have known.
Right.
It was not married him, but I mean, I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah, because he was married before.
Yeah.
Did he never go back to Africa? Your dad?
No.
So he never seen them kids again then?
No, but Totes Jackson, do you know Totes Jackson? The Jacksons, right? They lived on Russell Street in Moss Side. I believe that's when I was born, at house on Russell Street.
Russell Street.
My dad's wife in Africa used to write letters, but because they were sent to him, my mum never touched them.
Yeah, my mum was
but
like
this Mrs.
that.
Jackson used to own them, and she said he's got a wife and kids.
She used to say it to you, Mum?
She told me, my mum didn't believe it, but it was true. He did. Two boys, I think, and a girl.
Wow.
But I mean, I wouldn't know, I don't know them, I'm not really, I wouldn't like break my neck to, I mean, I've got nothing against them, it's not their, what's it, but my mum said in one of the letters, the wife put, I'm going to put a curse on the white woman you've married and all her children, but sometimes it makes you wondering if those curses do bloody work. I mean, I don't know, but...
No, just that bit of voodoo. Yeah. Wow.
No, people don't believe it. I thought to myself, especially when things happen in the family, I thought, you know, because I just think to myself, you know, because like, you know, when you're clever and you want to do things, you want to think and it don't go right.
Yeah.
It gets you dead. Because even like when our Alan died, it killed us. I thought, I wonder if she'd put a curse on him that was just in my head, you know, all the time. I might be wrong, but you just think.
Alan was just really sensitive, wasn't he? Alan was just really sensitive.
Oh, right.
It can't have been good for Alan and your dad.
No, it was horrible to him, and I was rotten to him.
Yeah.
29 years of age, and what happened?
Is that how old he was?
When he died,
yeah.
I'll tell you what.
I can't imagine my brother or sister dying.
That's what I mean. I know. Terrible.
Come on, what was you going to say?
He treated him like a dog. Well, he had a flat, the old fella, on there at one time on Kingsway, and Alan had nowhere to go, and he made him sleep on the floor.
Wow.
Even though there was a settee there, he had to go on my mum went ballistic, because when he died, my mum blamed her. I said, you can't blame you, Mum. I said, it was him, the way he treated him over the years. Because many years ago, Alan got run over, you know, by a motor scooter with a sidecar.
I didn't know.
Yeah, he got his head split open. He went in hospital. Obviously, years ago, he had all them stitches.
I didn't know.
And everything. And the old fellow always called him gormless and dopey. No, I think he tormented him as well. You know what I mean?
But I just remember Alan being really, really sensitive and quite shy.
Who?
Alan.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. He wasn't shy, he was just sort of...
Yeah.
He kept himself and his opinions to himself. But Alan left there to go to work in Germany without any... And the friends he had over there were just something else.
Nobody ever... I'm not just saying this because he died, and well before he died, nobody ever had a bad word to say about
him. No,
No, not at all.
Yeah. Well, my mum, a couple of years ago, when she was getting quite ill, she said to me, I've got some things of Alan, she said, I want to give them to you.
Oh.
I said, all right, well, it's only photographs and letters. So before I took him home, she said to me, do you know Tommy Brogan? I said, yeah. She said, he was a good friend of Alan's, you know. I said, I didn't know you knew him, Mum. She said, I don't. She said, but you sent me this lovely letter. I said, did you? She said, yes, but you don't know me, everything. So what happened, I brought them back, I thought, and it's there. I've got it upstairs.
Oh, right,
I put dear Mrs. Jawando. My name's Tommy Brogan. I know you don't know me, but I just want you to know I was very, very privileged to have met Alan. And it was made me cry. Made me cry on it. You know, it was really. But like I said, she blamed her, but it wasn't her. It was, I blame him. Because he really tormented him, something terrible, terrible.
It's amazing that she stayed with him though, but it was a different life then for women, wasn't it?
Well, she did tell me she was frightened. Remember, then she get no help. The family didn't want to know because he was black anyway, so they were a bit. Yeah. Because what happened, how long ago now? Only till I came to this house, my cousin, from a kid, never knew about us. When he got older, he's my age now, he kept saying to his mum, I've got an Auntie Sheila and I've got 10 half-caste cousins. How come we've never met? And it was all hushed up. So what happened, his wife was a nurse and she worked at the same school as my sister Helen. So her and Helen was talking one day and she said to Helen, what's your second name? She said, Jawando, and she said, you're my husband's cousin. Wow. The next minute, Helen phoned me, they're coming. Oh, they went to see everybody in the family. Oh. He went to my mum's, big box of chocolate. He was really, what a lovely man. Now, every year, I've not been for a couple of years, I'll be honest, every Boxing Day, they invite to go to their house. Really lovely, you know.
Wow.
You know, so I think my mum suffered a lot.
No, absolutely.
Not just from him, but from her own family as well.
And from society at the time as well.
Well, my Auntie Nora that lives in Stretford was always shooting my mum, always. And my two uncles, they always used to go and see my mum and whatever. They always, you know what I mean, but the others didn't want to know. Wow. They just didn't want to, because she married a black man, I mean. That's how society was, though.
No, absolutely.
All them years ago.
Absolutely. It's proper weird, isn't it? It's proper weird.
I know. When I think now, it's just...
Because they really were like that. When you did that, that was like you danced with the devil. You
That's
know, like,
what I mean.
Do you know what I mean? You might as well have. In fact, I think you get forgiven sooner if you actually had danced with the devil.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know.
You know, like, and another thing that would happen as well is that she couldn't have left your dad in some respects and not gone with a white guy after that either, once you had half-caste kids.
Mum never bothered with anybody after that. Then years later, funnily enough, she got a Saturday job. Yeah. In a betting office of all places. Yeah. She said, I never thought, and because of the way he was, but she was very friendly with all the women that worked there and the manager. Anyway, after a bit, I think she moved to a 2-bedroom. She only had Helen Vanessa then, everybody had gone. Yeah. She moved to a 2-bedroom house, Summerfield Road. Oh, and our Helen last minute said, Mum, I'm moving and my boyfriend, so my mum obviously let her go, Mum and Vanessa. So she got, not full-time, but a good few hours in this bookmakers, and she was really happy. She never betted, but she could see people and she'd say, oh, this blah-blah neighbour never really spoke before, he's really nice. Then what happened, this fella started chatting her up. He was an African, but his name was Eddie. I think he was African. Right. So Mum came, and I said, oh, Mum, go out with him. I said, he's never, oh, no, she said, I'm a bit. Went through, wanted me to go to the pitch, and she said, oh, no, I can't. Anyway, somebody told her he was married. Well, my Mum. She never spoke to him again.
I'm not surprised, though.
And after that, she never bothered with anybody after that.
How old was she then?
My mum.
When Eddie was trying to take her to the pictures.
My mum was in there, say 60 odd.
Wow.
60 odd easy.
And still trying to take the piss out of her when she's 60 odd. No wonder she never bothered again.
No,
because she would have thought, oh, I'm an older woman now, I'll get some respect, whatever.
But all this, getting her hair, makeup up, she'd never done that, my mum. Yeah. I think she had one lipstick, I think she had it 20 years. Oh. And that was the only thing she ever had. He said nothing else, so no. Oh, and then powder puffs.
Yeah.
But nothing.
That's what my mum had. She had a powder puff.
Yeah, she wasn't any of that for the nail varnish and whatever.
They were called a her up the street.
Yeah, she used to perm her own hair, you know, with them.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, do her own things like that. Yeah.
Oh.
And she'd knit clothes. She'd knit something first, and then she'd unpick it and do it for someone else a bit smaller, you know, that kind of it. Yeah. But she had more, I think when we were all up, grown up and settled, she was more happy. Because like Vanessa and Ellen were like her two youngest, because everybody thought they were twins, they weren't.
Yeah.
And I think she was happy because we, like when I met Lorraine's dad, every Saturday without fail, but some mums would give her 10 bob, which was a lot of money.
No, you could go pictures and have like popcorn and everything for 10 bob.
I know. Oh yeah. And then like when they all start, Dave, because obviously I'd left home, so we stayed on for further education. Dave was the first one to work. And he worked at a farm called Bailey's. I think he was only 15, I'd say.
Yeah.
And what happened, he worked with pigs. Well, you know, they don't like pigs, do they, the Muslims?
Oh, so did he start about
So my dad, yes, when he come from work, when we get meat pie off the bread man, five cigarettes, Park Drive, and a cake. But my dad wouldn't let him in the house. He had to sit in the old wash house and eat his dinner and then go back to work. But my auntie come round one day, my auntie Nora, and she said, "What are you doing in here?" She said, "Get in that kitchen." She'd get in that. So he comes clomping down the thing. She said, "Manson, he's not sitting in there freezing." "Oh, no, it's all right," because he wouldn't say anything, you see, in front of her. But obviously when she'd gone, he tried to, get funny with my mum, because I couldn't with Dave then.
Yeah.
Dave was 15. He also wouldn't let us have comics. You know, the Beano, the Dandy and all them, he couldn't have that.
Why?
He said it wasn't educational. You'd have to have a school book to look at, so I used to get the Atlas.
Put the comic in.
With the bunty in the middle.
Yeah, the Mandy and the bunty. Yeah.
But the auntie come round one day and she were all talking. Next minute the gate went, we all went like that. She said, "What are you doing?" She said, get them comics out. Get them back. So when he come round, she said to my mum, "Why are you letting him do this?" So she said to him, "You better not do this to them." No, it's all right. When she'd gone, obviously we all got a good hiding. That's how bloody disgusting. No, and then one year, for 2 years, Mum slept on the settee. She didn't have anything to do with him.
Okay, and trying to get rid of him.
Like, finish with him that night. She stayed downstairs. So Dave said to Stan one night, "He's up there in that bloody double bed. We'll get it out, put it in the girls' room, and we'll put a single on him." Anyway, the girls upstairs, what Stan said, Dave said, excuse my language, fuck it, took the wardrobe out. No, took it in put it all, in the girls' room. So when he come back, but he knew, because he couldn't do out to Dave or Stan anymore, you see, because they stood up to him, he knew he couldn't do anything. So in the end, he finally left in the end.
Did he?
Yeah.
He left himself because he got drove out.
Because he knew he couldn't start any of the boys. He couldn't touch any of the girls because the boys would grab hold of him. So he knew then he was outnumbered. But he said to my mum, "You've turned all these children against me." Load of crap, that was.
Yeah.
Anyway, off he went. But what happened when she moved to this other house? By chance, he went back to the old house, but Helen was getting the stuff out. So he said to him, "Where's your mammy?" So Helen gave the address and went ballistic. No. But Helen, I felt sorry for him, Mum, because Helen never had any crap with him, you see.
And he's her dad?
Yeah. I'm saying it because they were the youngest. They didn't have anything. They were like two little babies to him. So he was once you got 7 or 8, that's when he started bullying you. That's how bad it was. I wonder
what had happened to him, Linda, though, to make him like that.
Well, I'd say maybe he was treated that at home.
Yeah.
But I thought to myself, when I left there, I thought, right, if anybody touches me, and that's what I felt like today. I thought I couldn't. What he did, maybe that was happening to him in his lifetime, I don't know. But anybody with a bit of respect and decency won't let anybody harm their children.
No.
But obviously, he was That's why I was hated. Oh, I hated him with a vengeance.
Did apart from the little ones, did you all hate him?
Did I?
Did you all hate him? Apart from the little ones?
I think, I don't know, because they're of their own opinion.
Yeah.
I would say yes deep down, but I'd say, I think myself, I've got more hatred, because I think Dave, years later, always had a bit of soft spot for him, but I'd never, ever forgive him.
Yeah.
The way he treated my mum and the way he treated our kids. But over the, I don't know, because Dave's, I think he did have a bit of a soft spot for him, even though Dave had all them terrible, I think Dave would find it in his heart to forgive him, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. When he died, I was working at the Birchville and the police came, because he put me down as next of kin, I don't know why.
Yeah.
And the landlady came down, she said, can you come upstairs a minute? I said, oh, right. So there's 2 coppers there. I said, sit down. He said, he's always passed away, so I said, oh, and I feel a thing. He said, I would like you to come and identify him. So I said, can't anyone else go? I thought, I don't want that, nothing.
Yeah.
So they said, no, he's put you down as next of kin. So they took me to the thing, dropped me back off. And I made them drop me off from Moss Lane East. I lived on Playfair Street. And when I looked up, our Dave was coming down. She said, oh, yeah. I said, Dave, the old fella's dead. I've had to go. And Dave just went. He didn't really, as if to say.
Wow.
He didn't say it, but to me he was like, I'm not interested. I think he said, if it had been my mum.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Because I'm thinking the man and a woman's feelings are different. But me as a mother, I don't feel a shred of love about him at all. I never have done and never will.
Yeah. Not even when you were little.
Eh?
I mean, not even when you was like little toddler.
Well, I don't really remember him then.
Yeah.
He was that little, to be honest.
No, I remember my dad when I was really little.
No, I started to remember my dad, I would say, I'd reckon about 10. Easy. I can't. Because maybe I don't want to remember.
Yeah,
maybe it's something that's the back of my, you know what I mean?
Did you meet his family? Did you meet like any of his brothers and sisters or
No.
his mum or
He's
dad?
supposed to have been an only child.
Oh, okay.
But he told that many lies, we don't know. Now, somebody in his family died many, many years ago. And there was £91,000 shared out between 31 people. So they all got 3,000 each. I think he gave my mum 500, which was a lot of money then.
Yeah.
And my mum bought us all clothes.
Oh.
Pyjamas, what we'd never had.
Yeah.
That was it. Nothing for herself. And she
Yeah.
never saw any more of that money. So where did that go? On the betting, women down Moss Side and everything.
Was he a womanizer as well?
Well, my mum told me he was. No one's ever told me that. My mum told me that, but she's not a liar, so I would say he probably was.
Man, the man was deadly.
Hmm?
He was deadly, wasn't
Signs for him than a cult.
he? Yeah.
I remember our Stan getting older in one day, went to hit one of them, and as he ran to get her, Stan picked him up in the air with his legs. Legs were going round. But they just think you then, say you're not bullying, you're not, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, see, didn't like it, see, when they stood up.
Yeah.
And if they brought their friends home, he'd be giving them dirty looks. Because Dave said, when I go to my mate's house, come in, Dave, and he'll grab home. But
we weren't allowed to bring nobody
he showed
in
no
the
love
house.
at all. You'd never see him. I can't say to him, I saw him rocking a baby, because I can't. I do remember Brother Paul had gastroenteritis. I reckon he was about 4, and this went on for weeks. He was sick all over. He'd scream like there's no... And my mum and me would rock him all night long and all day, and he got took in hospital. But I honestly don't remember seeing my dad with him in his arms, honestly. I remember me and remember mum, but never him, so... Yeah.
Do you think that's because he's a man or because he's a black man?
No, of course not, because you're just an evil person, Linda, and it was in him. No, to me, because I've always been, the colour's got nothing, I never look at anything that way. I just look at that person as a person. He was a horriblest. He used to bring some of his friends there. I won't mention any name. Some I didn't like the look of, but some. were very, very nice. And we had a friend called Matthew, he was called. He was African, but quite light skinned, funnily enough. He might not have been African. He was one of my dad's friends, but he was very nice, and my mum liked him, so I would say he's a decent fellow. So a couple of weeks ago, my brother Paul said, "Do you remember my dad's friend Matthew?" I said, "Yeah." He said his granddaughter is a carer for our Paul's mother-in-law. So they got talking, and she was telling Paul. So Paul said, "Go back and tell him Captain Manson is her son." Anyway, she told him, apparently he started crying. He's about 90, 95, but he was a good man, him. But he had some other friends that weren't.
So did he bring friends to the house?
Yes.
Did your mum bring friends to the house?
No. Only a family. No. Even a neighbour friend, it was a door. They never went in the house. She had a friend called Mrs. McEwen. She died, funnily enough, last year. She was 95. So me and Paul had gone away on holiday, but the rest of the family went to the funeral, and they said the priest mentioned Mrs. Jawando here, good.
Yeah.
And we all she works at the library with the daughter, and we all keep contact, which is nice. No, my mum, the only visitors my mum had were family, friends, no.
And was that your dad? Was that your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would open telling lies. The woman at the back, Mrs. Thomas, when my mum had a baby, she'd come round and and look after my mum and whatever. But I think he wouldn't have had the guts to say out to this Liverpudlian one, because she'd have probably knocked him out.
Yeah.
But my mum said the Liverpudlian's husband's a dirty old man because he tried to get hold of my mum and all that.
Who, your mum said that?
About him, yeah, her husband. So it just shows what people...
I was laughing with Cotty yesterday, saying on everybody's street there was a her up the street, wasn't there? You know, someone that wore loads of makeup.
Yeah.
There was a Christian Jamaican woman, and there was a paedophile on everybody's street. Wasn't there someone that was a dirty old man?
Right.
Do you know, think about it? You know, yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Because Mum said some friend of his, she didn't tell me, so she might tell me, I don't remember. And my mum said to him, "Oh, he's just gone to my side." He said, "No, it's you. I've come to him and said, "Bugger off and bloody," you know. No, it's really what, sitting in rooms, she was saying, the old rents, you know, those days, there was none of that sex, because if you didn't have the rent out, you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, he called Solomon, some African guy that was after him for the rent. So when he come banging on the old fella jumped out the window and left my mum, you know, to face him.
Your dad?
He's bloody coward. Bloody coward.
No, but that's how he's a bully, though. Coward and bully go together.
Oh, yeah. And,
don't they?
Oh, how's your ball with it? Because like I said, I had that for 2 years and I knew, I thought, no chance.
No, but good on you, Linda.
But I've got to be honest, there's only Veronica Duffy. When I had my kids that let me stay with her, everybody else didn't want to know.
Oh.
I went and got the room and and all that. So, you know a true friend, and she is. I don't see much of her, but she is my one of my truest, bestest friends, you know what I mean?
Is she still in Russia?
Yeah, she lives on Thornton Road.
Yeah.
She don't come out.
Does she not?
No, she don't come out. She stays in the house. She has a bit of weed in her. But she had heart disease.
Oh, did she?
So I used to go and see her every week. Then when I got ill, we're not smoking, but I do occasionally. My son doesn't know I go ballistic. And she's always having smoking, so I know it would choke me. Like, I don't have anybody smoking in the house now.
Yeah, no, I don't. I smoke, but I don't smoke in the house.
Yeah. No, because the what? Since I've been ill, she gave up for 7 months, but I do have the sly one.
A sly cig or a sly?
A sly cig. My son will go bonkers if you knew.
Wow. I don't know, you only have one. If I have one, that means I just start
No,
smoking.
it's when I've got alcohol.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm not really bothered, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not really watching. Yeah, but the Reno, that was, you know that? We'll never get that again.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? We'll never.
It was such an atmosphere. It's so hard to describe the atmosphere.
By 10:30, everybody would be in there. They'd all be lined up. The corner, where the toilets were there, the corner was there. There used to be RL with J-Mo. The two brothers, J-Mo and Ray.
Ogun Yemi.
Tunde Moses.
Yeah.
Oh, God. A guy called Lenny. I can't remember his second name.
Black guy, Lenny Richards.
No. Oh, Lenny Richards. I thought it was mixed race.
Oh,
he might know. Could be. I'll never forget them stood there.
Yeah.
And even him, snowy.
Oh,
it was snowy. It was a baby. Oh, snowy was nice. I like snowy. I like snowy very much. It was just...
We all liked each other, didn't we? Because lots of us was quite wrong behind everything.
Yeah.
And you all actually want to be married to him or whatever.
No.
Because we all knew not to go out with each other because we were all mental, weren't we?
Yes.
You know, with the families that we had and the lives that we had, we weren't right in the head, really.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
I know.
But we loved each other. We knew who was part of our gang, didn't
exactly.
we?
Yeah. But the Reno, I used to go in there now, but preferred the Reno was more my cup of tea.
Me too.
I did go in the now occasional, not very occasional. But the Reno was the place, you know. I mean, it was like coming. If somebody said to me about the Reno, I think like coming home to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. I think it's all of us thing. It's a shame it doesn't exist for our kids, really, as well.
I know. Well, this is funny because a few years ago they had a Reno revival night in town. I don't know if you ever went. It's that great big warehouse thing. I think it was something like £5 a ticket. It was a few years ago. So what happened, the person was selling it, I brought a lot because quite a few of us was going. So my son said to me one night, "Oh, I said, I'm going to a Reno revival." He said, "A Reno?" I said, "You wouldn't know." He said, "I wouldn't know was." He said, "The Reno, you never went." He said, "Who didn't?" I said, "You." He said, "I did." He said, my Uncle Dave used to tell me. I said, "How old was she?" So he said, 16. So what happened, Paul was going to Reno when I stopped going in there.
Right.
You know, like I got another job somewhere. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, "Uncle Dave took me." I said, "Don't tell your mum." Even our Stan used to go in the Reno.
Yeah, no, occasional,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
I had to laugh his face because I think the cigarette pains or something like that.
I know him and his health. Him and his health.
I know. Blimey. Did you find anything where you...
Yeah, we found
stuff.
We just did a test dig to see if it's still there because you remember when they put the bills up, the bill posters?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They cut across that land, so we weren't sure if they'd not dug it all up.
Oh, right.
But no, we found the back wall and we found the top of the gambling room, so it's still in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it a Seaman's Club, though, before the Reno? Is that true?
I don't know how true that is. I definitely know that it's true that African seamen used to sleep there before they went back to the ship.
I know before it was a Reno, it was a gambling den. There was no music, it was just gambling. I do know that.
Yeah.
I don't know if Phil had it, I'm not sure. I don't know.
No, we're trying to work
because Phil come from Rainy City. He had
a
thing to Phil. See, I never went there. The Long Bar was my first.
Yeah.
So I'm talking, hang on, 66 and then 67. 67. I reckon I was going in the Reno. I'd say from 1970, 71. Easy.
You must have been.
Yeah, easy.
I first went in 1976, but I'm 12 years younger than you.
That's what I mean, 1976.
I was 16.
69. We're talking about, yes, I reckon I was 16. 69, 70. I reckon 69, 70 I must have been going in there. Yeah.
Yeah, you must have done.
But it was, even working behind the bar, it was like going out. It was really...
exactly.
There was two girls, they both called Annette. We used to call one dark-haired Annette, the other one blonde Annette. But they always used to go in town first and they used to come in the Reno and they used to say to me, they always give me a good tip and all. "You're too nice to work in here. You shouldn't be working here. You should be one of these big casinos." I thought, "Don't catch me at bloody casinos."
No, but like you said, working behind the bar there was like going out, wasn't it? Going out and getting paid at the same time.
Wanted to dance, I'd come out.
No, exactly. No, exactly.
Oh, no. But just picture it now.
I can. Yeah. Every time we talk about it to anybody, I can picture it, but I can't describe that feeling that was in there.
But I remember all these tables coming out that side to there. But I remember all tables here, but the outcast boys all stood up for some reason.
No, exactly.
They were once for sitting down, then obviously got the stage there with the DJ, then the steps up to go into the gambling den, which, I'll be honest, I don't even think I put my foot in there, because obviously I was behind the bar. I wasn't going doing any, obviously, gambling or whatever. But was there a pool room in there?
I think there was a pool table. Hardly any of us ever went in there.
No, I don't think any of the women did they?
No, I don't remember the guy. I don't remember the gamblers going or leaving. They must have lived in there. Do you know what I mean? I don't remember him coming in.
Yeah, do you remember Ganu?
Oh,
He was over them all, I think. He was very, very quiet, kept himself to himself. I think I've seen him lose his temper with somebody one night, and I was in shock.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't like that. It was right, obviously, over the arguments, and I thought, blimey.
Do you remember Christmas when you couldn't put your foot in front of the other because there's that many people down there? You know, like, because mums and dads would come out at Christmas.
Exactly. Come in, But I remember Anne Rufine bringing him, Anne, before she married, she was going out with Brian, actually.
Yeah.
And she said, I brought my mum down tonight. I said, oh, my mum won't come in. She said, oh, no, it's just one night for my mum. They just met Brian and Anne.
Yeah.
And I remember when Lottie met Janet.
Jean.
He's with her now, Janine or Janet.
Jean, she died about 3 years ago, Lattie. Lattie's wife.
Oh, no, I mean younger Lattie, young Lattie.
Oh, Lattie Lawson.
Yeah.
No, I don't know who it is. Go on, anyway. You remember her meeting?
Yeah, but Jean, you said, old Lattie's wife.
Yeah.
She was lovelier though,
Yeah,
you know.
no, she was.
She was very, very nice. Was she a nurse or a midwife or something years ago? Yeah, she was.
But they were together
a long time.
40 odd years.
Right, bloody hell. Lattie was always very smart, very. How is he now? Is he getting on a bit now?
Yeah, he's coming up to 90.
Oh.
No, but he's still smart.
He don't still live around, does he?
No, he lives in Sale. I went there yesterday with his son-in-law, with his stepson, Jean's son.
Oh.
Yeah, to interview him. And I got him to say at the beginning, I know your father. Because that was his famous line.
Yes, he always did.
Yeah.
He was quite witchy, Lattie. He had no messing of anybody in that door.
No, he didn't. No, everybody had the utmost respect
for him. Yeah.
And
there's a guy called Jeff who used to work on there sometimes with him on the door.
Oh,
Jeff, he had kids too, I don't think he's still with the now retro too.
Yeah.
He's called Jeff. He was a nice bloke though.
No, I think he's dead as well.
Is he?
I think Jeff's dead as well. Yeah, I know his daughter, she works in the library, Ruth.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Is she Rita's girl?
Yeah.
Yeah. That family, they're lovely, those girls.
Yeah.
I met them the other week, a couple of weeks ago, with Mrs. O2.
Yeah.
She's in a wheelchair.
Oh.
Yeah, she said Edmund died. I knew Rick, because I didn't know his name was Edmund Cooley.
Yeah.
So Rita said, yes, Linda came. She did come. I said, oh, yeah. Because the first thing she said to me, how's Veronica Duffy, you still see her? Because Mrs. O2 had a terrible life. Oh, she had a terrible life. You know what I mean? She struggled with her children, but you know what I mean? She looked after them and everything.
Wow.
But she looks exactly the same.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, she's never changed. She's got that. They all look like her. They've all got that, what's it? But Kevin's still going strong.
Yeah.
Kevin O2.
Yeah, I see him. On his bike, yeah.
Yeah, I just saw him at Cooley's funeral. That's the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
And his wife, Harriet, I knew her many, many years ago, but I've not seen her for years.
Yeah.
And her daughter got a job at the community centre down the road. And I could see this woman looking at me. And she had Linda Jawando. I said, who is it? She had Harriet. Well, Harriet's an onion. I said, bloody hell. Kevin, how do you do with Kevin? She said, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, she was a nice one. But you don't forget those people.
No, you don't.
That you grew up with. You know what I
No,
mean? I mean, before I went in the Reno, when I went to the Long Bar, I knew people like, she's dead now, God rest her soul, Monica Codlin.
Oh, yeah.
You know, where they brought them. Now, she was 15 years of age. She used to hop round with us. She had a friend called Frida Diamond. I would all get together. We used to go in the Wycliffe pictures. It was a couple of quid, you know, to get in. And she was a lovely girl.
Yeah.
She was nice, you know what I mean? It was quite. Then I never saw her. Many, many years later, I was in a club in London and she come over. How are you? No, she was a nice and that was awful what happened to her. But life's, you don't know what's going to do you.
Monica Coughlin. Me and Anne was talking about her the other day.
You and Anne, Brennan.
Anne Sarge.
Oh, Anne Sarge, yeah.
Yeah.
How about Anne Brennan? Have you seen her?
I seen Anne Brennan at a car boot sale a few
right.
weeks ago. I haven't seen her for years before that.
Right, well, I saw her. It must have been somebody's funeral. I was a dancer, well, that was the only time. But I saw Steve a couple of times in Charlton to do taxiing.
Yeah.
To wait for the taxis.
Yeah.
And I keep bumping into Billy Marble. I've not seen him for years.
I think he lives round here somewhere.
No, he lives in Charlton.
Okay.
No, he said he's lived there 40 odd years. And
Wow.
he's like that, whether to sell his house or said. Billy, Charlton's a lovely area. I haven't moved from Charlton.
No.
Because Charlton's nice. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's a nice guy, Billy. And there's two sisters. You probably won't remember them. They're called Christine and Barbara Midgley.
No.
Yeah, well, I don't see Barbara, but this Christine, she lived in London for years. She come back and she lived in a caravan in Wales, and I got to see her, and I've not seen her for like 30 odd years. It was just something.
Are they mixed race?
It was nice. No, the white.
No.
The white. But she used to go in there and she used to go out with a lad called Reno many, many years ago. I don't know if you've heard the name Reno. She used to go out with him. Yeah, but I thought it's nice, to...
Yeah, someone reminded me, do you remember Carmen and Lloyd? Carmen had dead long hair.
No, I remember Carmen that was with one of the Joneses.
That's it.
Yeah, she was with them. What's she called? Jones's brother. What's he called? I saw him at Bingley not so long ago. Bloody hell. Leroy.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Leroy.
she's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, very pretty lady.
Yeah. And they're still together.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they was the last time I've seen them. I saw him about 10 years ago with my son. He said, "Is that your fella?" I said, "No, it's my son."
And Myra and Sobers are still together.
Yes, I know.
I know. 43
so
years.
I know, bloody hell.
Yeah.
She looks very well now, Myra.
Yeah.
But she's always been an alright. Dave Trigg, he's always been a nice guy.
Oh, Dave's funny, man. He makes
I
me laugh.
know. I like David.
Yeah.
But Veronica was pally with all them years ago, you know what I mean? If you made it then, I think it had a few, but it's a nice fella. But they're genuine people.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Because she's got grandkids now, hasn't she, Myra?
Yeah, that she brings up, doesn't she?
But I remember a little girl, Mandy, when she was a little girl, and she was beautiful. Beautiful girl.
She's about the same age as Rach, isn't she? My daughter.
Right. How old's Rachel?
36.
She's 36.
Born in 79.
Right. I met her for the first time a few years ago in the friendship, because I've not seen her from being a kid. And she was talking to, Dion, Veronica's daughter.
Yeah, she loves Dion.
So I'm talking to Dion, and she must have said to Dion, "Who's that about me?" And she went, "Linda Jawando, I've been wanting to meet you for years. Your friends and my mum." No, it was nice. So I said, "Who are you?" So I said, "Tommy Brogan." I said, "Oh, pleased, very pleased to meet you." And my mix says, "Should I don't know you, I'm talking to you." Do you want another coffee, Lynn?
No.
Sure. Are we still on it?
Should we turn it off?
Yeah, get it on.
Yeah.